Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's Michael O'Connell here, Chief Analytics Officer at Spotfire, and part of the Cloud Software Group, and I'm thrilled to speak to the NEXUS audience. Our standard disclaimer agreement, highlighting some forward-looking roadmap data and so on. So take care of that, especially towards the end. So we have got some new big news. Spotfire is now a separate business unit as part of Cloud Software Group. You know, Cloud Software Group was formed with a merger of Citrix and TIBCO last year, and the CEO has decided to invest in Spotfire and make it its own business unit. So it's kind of back to the future a little bit from us. You see our new logo. We also have a new website, spotfire.com. Encourage you all to go and take a look at the new items we have up there. And we also just came off of our annual analytics forum. So this has been rebranded the Analytics Forum, a digital event presented by Spotfire. It's up and live now for another couple of months. Encourage you to go to theanalyticsforum.com and take a look at the program. Lots of great customer talks, keynotes, updates from our Spotfire product and field teams. Really a lot of terrific content, and I think many of you have been to this forum before and will enjoy it. Okay, so just as a really brief introduction to Spotfire for folks who may not have seen it before. So the areas that we've been investing in for Spotfire is a platform for self-service analytics that gives line of business users the power to analyze data, share insight. It's really this notion of being able to rapidly build an analytic application and deploy it. So all the tools that you need to do that, data access and preparation at your fingertips, visual analytics, AI machine learning, an analytic catalog, custom extensions, mods, data functions, cloud native deployment, full administrator console, and literally people are using this to deploy to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of users in a very rapid manner. So it really is a full spectrum analytics offering, from self-service analytics for business users, using all types of data that's at rest, in motion, in database, in memory, any combination of the above. But it's way more than that. You can create your own dashboards, highly appealing visual interfaces, for example, combining visual analyses, tables. You can do reporting, standard PDF type reporting. You can run sophisticated data science models from point and click interfaces. You can build analytic applications. This is a really popular part of the software experience, being able to pull together sophisticated applications, save as to library, deploy through web player to literally hundreds of thousands of users, in building applications in hours or days that normally in other tools would take months and years. This is really a big part of the experience. Deploying out to mobile devices, we have tips and tricks inside the user interface to make that possible for layouts on smaller resolution screens. Taking actions from insights directly from inside of Spotfire, invoking other systems to take an action based on insights that you have found. Okay, with that as backdrop, I'm now going to get into our new work, new frontiers in AI, machine learning, and visual analytics. And there's been an explosion in the space, as you know, with AI, data science, the release of ChatGPT, the first software to 100 million users, all of the subsequent avalanche of large language models and fine-tuning those and doing prompt engineering and having conversations with your data. The right-hand side there is really a huge area of innovation right now. And the left-hand side, analytics and BI, we continue to innovate in that area with NLP and analysis of text, voice, video, images, and underneath all of that, lots of innovation going on in data management and engineering. So, as I mentioned, getting started here with image and video, here's an example of a Spotfire analysis looking at traffic patterns from a video feed near the Harbour Bridge in Sydney. You can see how we're putting bounding boxes, around the trucks, counting them, counting the type of vehicle, estimating the speed, and so on, and keeping track of that in a Spotfire analysis. Now you can see that we've been now starting to play with GPT in a similar context. So this is a first foray into that, and you can see we're looking at pressure versus time in a completions analysis in the energy sector, typing in a question here, what is the reason behind the high pressure formation in the hydrofact process, over time, and you get back an answer on that question. So that initial conversational chatbot type interaction is what we started with using ChatGPT. We then started looking into, actually prior to that, the left-hand evolutionary tree here, the BERT models. We've been using those for some years as the basis of our natural language query inside of the NLP package in Spotfire. And we've explored that left-hand side of the tree quite extensively. Now, the right-hand side of the tree is the one that's been exploding. You can see there with GPT-3 and the subsequent evolution, all the way up to GPT-4 and BARD and Llama, new models being released by Google and Meta. And you can see the Llama 2 model has got less parameters, 70 billion parameters compared to 175 billion parameters on GPT-3, but it's got many more tokens, which relates to the granularity of the training and the embeddings that you have for predicting the next word and having the conversation with the model. The more finer the granularity of the embeddings, the more accurate and granular you can get with the prediction of the words and the context of the conversation. So as I mentioned, we've been using the BERT models, at least, as part of our NLP toolkit as we analyze text data, extract the n-grams, do the stemming, lemmatization, do the named entity recognition of words that you want to recognize, part of speech and sentiment tagging. And you can see here's a analysis of a set of Airbnb reviews from around the Boston area. You can see that our visualization mods and data functions just show up there from the flyout. That user interface is automatically generated from the data function, which can be written in Python or R. So the business user just maps the current data to the inputs of the Python data function. They're prompted for how to join the result set back into Spotfire, and you can see that we're now visualizing those with a mod, a Spotfire mod for the word cloud and a Spotfire mod for the text card down below. These results are automatically brush linked through the data function result set. So you've got geoanalytics and everything combined with the visual displays. And all of that is captured and managed inside the data canvas. And you can see all the way actually down to the Python code what has been done through that data function analysis using the NLP toolkit to analyze that textual data. So we've been doing that for quite a while, and that has led to an understanding of how to have a conversation with Spotfire. We've just started to introduce this co-pilot, where we've taken the Spotfire documentation, community site, YouTube videos from Dr. Spotfire, books, and we've used prompt engineering to point the conversation directly at our documents so as to avoid hallucinations. So let me run a clip of that and show you where we're at with respect to that work, and that's happening through the field data science team. So I'm just clicking there to advance the video here. So here you can see, having a conversation with Spotfire. So asking, what are the highest selling products? And you can see the answer to that is coming back in the form of a bar chart that shows the products on the x-axis, and the height of the bars is this related to the sales. And then another question following up, how does that change over time? And you can see now that you've got a thumbnail for a line chart with lines on 3 individual products and the trending of those over time. And basically, being able to build a dashboard in response to a conversation. So this is the latest work that's been going on in the field around this conversational user interface. And you can see just unpacking that, show me sales over time by product category was the question. And the Copilot has interpreted sales total to be on the y-axis from the word sales in the question. It's used the column ordered data to be on the x-axis. It's binned that by year, month, and quarter to show the time granularity. And then it's chosen the correct aggregation, the sum of sales for each of those binned units to produce the line chart. And we've been able to render in the thumbnail a chart that you can then optionally add into the analysis. So quite a lot going on behind the scenes. And this, is certainly an R&D project we have going on in the field. But we're talking with customers, and we're bringing in people from different industry verticals, because these documents that we've uploaded from YouTube videos, Dr. Spotfire, the product documentation, books, and so on, that is the basis of the conversation. So on the left-hand side is the batch uploading of that type of data. The right-hand side is the live interaction with Spotfire, where you're able to ask those questions that I showed. And really what's happening is we have these pre-built templates around, are you asking for custom help or Spotfire help, or produce a visualization, write some in Python or code, or interrogate the data, understand the data. There's a variety of questions that you can ask, and we have pre-canned templates that categorize your question into one of those, and then provide the context as an engineered prompt to specify the type of response that the end users you're looking for, and to be able to generate a conversation on that topic to help them, like I say, understand an analysis, or help with an analysis, to digging into the data that we have through all of those product documentation and YouTube type videos. So just briefly, the underlying architecture here is that we have deployments of this for Azure and other offerings, other hyperscalers, where you bring in the data, in this case our data, but if we were to collaborate with someone in your world, there could be some of your data. This data stays within the Azure subscription or the AWS subscription, so it's all confidential. And then through Spotfire, we're asking the question. This orchestrator that I showed on the previous slide is used then to figure out what the question means and do the return of the particular context that's needed, and then the call to the large language model to bring back the results. So exciting work that we've got going on, and we'd love to hear from you if you're interested in participating in that. Okay, so moving along from the large language model work, the Copilot prototypes, into the world of visual analytics. And so we've been busy creating more than 40 visualization types that are on our exchange that you can download and drop directly into your world, into your library, into your authoring environment in Spotfire. And these include things like the network chart that you can use to display relationships. This is actually from the opioid crisis, and the network is showing all the way from prescription being written, how and where it's fulfilled, who got it, who wrote the prescription, where it ended up, things like that. I think lots of applications of the network visual. We've recently added a violin plot, which has solid applications in outcomes analysis, drug safety, efficacy. You can see here that this is an extension on the box plot for multimodal distribution display. It gives you insight beyond just the basic interquartile range that you get with the box plot to show the shape of the distribution, which is important, especially in some pharmaceutical outcomes type work. Some other things we've been looking at, we've created a Vega mod that allows you to access some of the Vega JavaScript visuals. In this case, this is a ridgeline plot or a joy plot, where you're looking at, again, on the categories, on the types of products there, versus, the other variable on the x-axis, location in this case. And this type of transparent overlay is reminiscent of Joy Division's Unknown Pleasures album cover. And so we've been affectionately calling this the Joy plot. But it's really quite helpful when you've got either time or categories on the x-axis and you want to overlay distributions, not just scatter plots, but distributions of data as they occur, and put some transparency on top of that. I think you've all seen the newspaper layout that we spent quite a lot of time on analyzing COVID data. We're not analyzing live data anymore, but we've kept all of the historical data analysis up there, and you can look at different geographies. You can scroll down through and look at onset, regional patterns, variety of parameters in a scrolling sort of newspaper style. And I think folks in many industries have found that to be a useful type of display format. And it's very easy to do in Spotfire. You can set the resolution and create more than fits on your current screen if you've got a bigger screen, or you can adjust the resolution dimensions when you're laying out your Spotfire analysis. Okay, so lots of things going on in visual analytics. In terms of data science and data engineering, we've been creating a lot of data functions. Again, can be run from the fly out in Spotfire. Data functions for data prep, predictive analytics, spatial analytics, a variety of options there. And we've just done a release to the open source, to PyPy, of the underlying Python code for some of those, including the machine learning pieces, the time series, natural language pieces that I mentioned earlier, explainability and monitoring. And we're going to continue to add to this. We're going to also obviously put the data functions on our community exchange that you can click directly into your Spotfire analysis, but we're hopeful that we might get some folks contributing to the underlying Python code as well. So some of that work includes a new time series module, an update to the natural language processing toolkit, and some explainability functions that allow people to dig into the modeling side of things and look at the explainability, SHAP type functionality directly inside of Spotfire. Okay. Here we go. Thank you. So in this case, we're going to show off some of those data functions and mods. So you see the FX fly out there. I'm going to go into a contour plot and bring that up. That user interface is auto-generated, and you can map your data to the parameters of the Python data function. In this case, we've got various lat-long type coordinates that we're using as a grid to derive the contour analysis. You can see I'm being prompted for that, and it lands out as I think a WKB format that I can drag onto the map chart in Spotfire, and I can style it up to show the contours. These are weather stations, the green triangles in Texas, where we're measuring wind, and so we're analyzing wind patterns here. And you can see that this rose chart, which is a mod, is especially suitable for looking at wind direction around a 360-degree view. And again, with the mods, all you do is map the parameters that are exposed in the Spotfire interface to the data in your analysis. And you see now I have a rose chart showing wind direction, as well as the contour map showing the data function that was used to build that. So very easy to bring the data functions and mods into your analysis. We've also been busy creating Spotfire apps. You can see some of these on our new website. For example, anomaly detection, hospital readmission, log file analysis, statistical process control, wafer map patterns, recency frequency monetary analysis. These are all Spotfire apps that include the templates. You can bring your own data into them. And you can see how this is playing out here for this wafer map example. So in addition to that, some of the apps include Spotfire actions. So in this case, we're looking at analyzing sound waves of pieces of equipment. To find as we convert the sound waves to sequences of images, and we run some unsupervised learning models against those, and then we're able to display the images and highlight the anomalies. Action to do a notification to field techs, send them an email, make an entry into a integration application, and publish the results wherever you want, for example, through a Google Drive. Okay, so that's a quick summary of Spotfire mods and data functions for data science and the apps that we've been working on. Let me now, I showed earlier how we had recently run our analytics forum for 2023, and I want to give you a few highlights from that. So firstly, we were very excited to have keynote speaker Jan Willem Tulp. He's a freelance data biz designer and done lots of projects for Google, for the World Economic Forum, Scientific American, and he gave a very inspiring talk, with data from those projects and how he analyzed that using JavaScript. And it was an inspirational kickoff to the forum for folks interested in extending the palette with JavaScript as Spotfire mods. We had quite a bit of exciting customer presentations. This presentation from National University Hospital in Singapore, Dr. Niam was very well received. AI for healthcare analytics using doctor's notes and so on to remotely manage a variety of patients. We had talks from Moderna in their manufacturing of their vaccine process. Quite complex situation, biological manufacturing with lots of parameters to monitor, continuous process verification, statistical process control involvement in that. We had the Agriculture and Fisheries Authority from the Flemish government speak about some of their work. We had a green power presentation from NL. We had oil and gas operator analysis. Hess Corporation we're talking about visual analytics for insights and action. We had folks from ASML doing financial forecasts. We had folks from Rightway, a consumer goods company. Great hands-on talk for using Spotfire. And a lot of great customer presentations. John Henderson with his great tips and tricks session. Highly recommend that one. And you can go to the analyticsforum.com, and these presentations are still online for another couple of months, and I really encourage you to do that. The NUHS one I thought was particularly interesting to this audience. You might want to take a look at that, managing remotely patients with certain conditions and giving them a nudge when things are going awry. Now, we also had a pretty cool hackathon. And we just ran a Dr. Spotfire session on that, October the 3rd. Would highly recommend that. The data were from the Houston Food Bank. They were collaborators in the hackathon and participated in the judging. The reality is there's about 500,000 Houstonians that live in areas that don't have access to healthy food. And we were looking at spatial analysis of those patterns and really some standout entries here. I'm going to just highlight a couple. You can go to the Dr. Spotfire session to see more. John Henderson came in second, a really beautiful, visually appealing analysis. And then Lee Grant from Birchcliff was the number one with a really amazing kind of Spotfire app style, action-based insight and an action type analysis. So really do recommend that to you. You can subscribe on YouTube for Dr. Spotfire. Sign up for the recorded sessions. We do one of those a month, and then we do a weekly, tip in Dr. Spotfire, and these are lots of hands-on guidance for things like user interface controls and Spotfire apps, data functions, and so on. And you can join the sessions. Give your feedback. We encourage that. We go through templates and examples. So lots of resources for you to lean on there. Okay, so I'm going to close with a brief statement of direction of what we're doing going forward with Spotfire. And that includes providing a lot more work in the area of self-service visual analytics, quite a bit on integrating further the AI, ML, and stats componentry, helping with analytic applications, and providing more tools around governance and management. So briefly on those, the new authoring UX is made to be very web friendly. So we're kind of going down that path of web authoring and desktop authoring being harmonious. Lots of new controls, more data access and wrangling from the web interface, and yeah, it's quite a lot of work going on in that area. Together with the new UX, we're going to be adding more visual capabilities to our native visualizations, such as improvements to scales and labels, interactivity, the viz look and feel. On the left-hand side, you can see a context-sensitive visualization panel, and this is all happening, inside of a browser type environment that allows the updating to be rapid and swift and not really require any additional installation. So we're super excited about the work going on with the visual environment. Now, in terms of integrated data science, the data canvas, which has been terrific in terms of capturing a lineage, Spotfire to bring in machine learning, AI, statistical analysis. As you know, we've already started by making a library of data functions, giving them a more visible place in the UI, and we're going to continue to work on that sort of approach. And we think we can make it easier to build flows consisting of data prep, stats, and AI by adding this flow perspective that allows you to create your own transformations, joins, unions, and so on, to build pipelines that are data science related. We're also looking at enhancing the development experience there on the right to make it easier to develop R and Python based data functions in more of a full-blown IDE, including debugging capabilities. So excited also about the integrated data science pieces. In terms of the analytic applications, I was highlighting earlier, this is really a favorite part of mine with Spotfire and with many of our customers, the ability to build full-blown applications in a short amount of time, and deploy to a enterprise audience of tens of hundreds of thousands of people. So we're going to continue to double down on that and make it easier to build user-friendly analytic apps in a short amount of time. And the approach that we're providing is a bit of a back to the future with this guided workflow type methodology for reusable templates and guides, for example, on certain use cases, like safety analysis. And the intention is that we can make it easier for the end user to perform such analytics tasks, in a guided flow. So we're actually encouraging you and prompting you about how to build a Spotfire app, deploy actions, design the app, and we started that with in Spotfire 12, bringing actions to the table where you can directly take an action from Spotfire on more than 200 business systems, and we're going to build upon that. For example, to use reusable scripts and UI components based on the evolving mods framework, and we think this is going to be a nice way for you to create even more professional user interfaces on your analytic applications, and give that look and feel and UI option to the developers, Spotfire developers, to make it easier to build good-looking apps that work on different screen sizes and use the available space more efficiently. So that's another big area. And then finally, on the server side, governance and manageability, we're used in very large enterprises on very large numbers of users, and that has significant challenges. And so when you're adding self-service, people want to create their own content, distribute that to other people, and so governance, serviceability, monitoring is really important. And we need, large enterprises need to align with central IT processes and tools, and all that comes along with that enterprise nature of a Spotfire deployment. So we're driving two main initiatives here: the analytics catalog and enhanced administration tools. Within the catalog, we're going to make it easier for end users to find the content they need in the library and for them to trust the information, and just make it a center of excellence for analytics that allow people to use applications that suit them, and allow the self-service and prompting of various things in the library to different types of users. With the administration initiative, we're planning to make it easier for IT to deploy Spotfire systems with other external systems for observability, logging, alerts, security, etc. So the strategy here is the same: support integration with standard interfaces and make it quick and easy to work with Spotfire in best-of-breed, native cloud environments. So, I think there's something for everybody in the roadmap here, the statement of direction, and I think you can also be part of this by submitting your enhancements directly to the ideas portal, and also by voting on each enhancement to get notification on the status of those. So a couple of big ways to do that. Share your ideas and vote for other ideas submitted by others. And you can see here that we've implemented, I think, 6 out of the top 10 voted ideas, and have plans for more of those. You can keep track of those enhancements and ideas and see, if what the status is, future consideration or implemented. And generally, we've just had customer advisory board meetings, and folks are pretty excited by the response that we've made to ideas submitted into the ideas portal. And you can see, some details here around what's being planned. So put in your company email. That makes it legit for us to consider as a vote. And stay in touch with the ideas portal. We're also getting more open with our statement of directions, and you can see Spotfire 14 long-term support is coming right up, and you can go to this community site and see what's included in that release. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for your attention, and have a great rest of the NEXUS conference. And please contact me anytime with any questions or requests or understanding the evolution of Spotfire. We're super excited now to have our own business unit, our own website, our own analytics forum. We're doing a big community site refresh as well coming up, and we want to hear from you through the ideas portal or through the community or just directly. Thanks a lot. Have a great conference.